Welcome to 50 Shades of Mom Life podcast, where we talk about the real, raw, and funny sides of motherhood, relationships, and everything in between. From the bright moments to the tough ones, every mom has her shade. So grab your coffee or wine, settle on in, and let's talk about the beautiful, complex, and sometimes unpredictable shades that make up our lives. Get ready to laugh, cry, and feel seen. Let's dive on in. Welcome back to 50 Shades of Mom Life. You are listening to our official second episode of the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the first. How'd you feel about the release date?
I always feel good about releasing.
It was exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. You messaged me at work, and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, he wasn't even that excited. I was like, oh, well, there's a countdown going on, and I know. And then we sat in the pizza parking lot, and we watched the numbers go up. It's like 24 people are watching, 30. That was cool.
Yeah, that was sweet. I didn't know it was live.
Yeah, he didn't understand the whole thing. So that was just the intro. We're still learning. Our dog is currently itching his ear. Would have been ideal to put him in the cage before we start this, but obviously we're still learning.
He's part of the family.
Kobe. So this episode, we are going to talk about just the background of us, basically, and how we met, because I had a lot of comments on Instagram of people asking that. So, yeah, I guess I'll start. I grew up in a town, and we moved when I was in grade 3, and I moved.
Small town.
No, I grew up in a big town, and I moved to a smaller town.
Oh, I thought you were starting. Okay, we're going way back.
Oh,
gotcha.
Wait, I have to say, our release date, everyone pointed out that I said that he hadn't proposed, but he did propose. We just posted that podcast late.
That was later.
So anyways, we went to look at this house, and there was a gentleman out in the driveway, and he was like, hey, it would be great to be your neighbors. And then we bought that house, and next door lived 3 boys.
Were you referring to my dad as a gentleman?
Yes. There was 3 boys. It was Cam and his 2 brothers, and our families actually became friends very quickly, and we would hang out all the time. He hung out with my dad. Him and his brothers hung out with my dad in the garage.
All the time. Me and your dad are super tight.
They hung out in the garage all the time, and they would partay. And I remember one time in the garage, we have a 5-year age gap. But do you vividly remember this? Because I do.
I remember it.
In the garage?
Mm-hmm.
I sat on Cam's lap. My dad, they were like making jokes, and I sat on Cam's lap because I thought he was so cute. And then my dad's like, yeah, buddy, you're going to be wishing she was sitting on your lap one day. Mm. And then I was like, stop. And then you're like, haha, like awkward. And then, yeah.
You were like, what's that in your pocket?
Ew, we were young.
I'm just kidding. I was like, what?
That did not happen.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
That's really gross. Ew. And then
my God.
We started hanging out as we got older, and I would see him. He would come over for family dinners and come in the backyard. Yeah, and then
your dad would get me loaded.
Oh my gosh.
We'd be hanging out, and we'd be watching Cheech and Chong.
That was both of your end goal, was to just let's get loaded.
Well, the thing is, me and your dad are very much the same, where it's like, if we're hanging out with people, like when me and Tony hang out, I'm always trying to get Tony lit. Mm-hmm. And then when me and your dad hang out, we both are trying to get each other lit.
It's so
then we both end up getting lit. It's hilarious. Yeah,
you know when they say like you go after someone like your dad, I couldn't have nailed that assumption any stronger than I did. It actually makes me sick sometimes. I'm like, it's too much. I'm like, you're too much like my dad, like in ways I never thought. Anyways, love my dad.
Me and your dad think kind of the same.
Yeah. Kobe. So, yeah, we started hanging out as families, and then our parents were really close. And then we started messaging on Facebook and MSN and a BlackBerry BBM.
Yep. I had a BlackBerry, and then all of a sudden Brie had a BlackBerry.
No, you got a BlackBerry tablet.
Oh, I got the tablet. And I remember
my parents bought me something for Christmas, and I was so mad. I said I wanted the BlackBerry tablet. And the only reason I wanted that was because you said we could video chat if I got one. And I got one, and we didn't video chat once. I made my parents spend $300, and that black tablet just sat there forever.
I feel bad.
Because the only reason I got it was to video chat you.
I feel bad. I wasn't thinking in the same way that you were thinking.
Yeah, that's for sure. You just wanted to video chat me?
No, I was honestly, was I working for Husky at the time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was working for Husky at the time. I was thinking about my career. I was saving so much money. I was rich back then. I was literally, your dad used to say I had alligator arms.
Yeah.
He'd see me and he'd be like, oh, payday, Cam, payday. And he'd be walking in the house and he'd be like, ooh, because I never spent money, right? I always saved my money. And I invested money when I was young, which is the reason why we have this house, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, that's all you did. But yeah, those are the good old days. I remember, this is so embarrassing to admit, okay? This takes a lot to admit, but...
Have you told me this before?
Yes. My bedroom was at the front of the house. And I knew that what time he finished work. So my blind was actually indented and I would fold it up like this so that I didn't have to like move my fingers with it. And I would like watch and like, oh my gosh, Kobe.
But it was funny because Bree thought she was so sneaky. She's like, oh, Cam can't see me. But I always look up and I found it weird how Bree always had that weird foggy spot right in the middle of her window. Every time I got home, you know, I'd leave early and then it was fine. But then I get home and there's like this big foggy spot right in the middle of the window from her breathing.
I didn't know what
I thought the insulation went around the window or something, and it was just poor insulation, but it was Bree breathing through the window watching.
No, the worst part was when my dad came up behind me and he's like, what are you looking at? And I was like, whoa. And then he was like, what are you looking at? And I was like, oh, I was trying to see if Sarah was home. He's like, well, why don't you just go over and check if she's home? I was like, yeah, I probably am going to do that. And like, I was caught red-handed. My best friend lived on the other side of me. So he was on one side and she was on the other. And I would literally, I don't know what satisfaction I got out of it. I feel like I was kind of a peeping Tom. That is so creepy.
You were a level 10 creeper.
That is so creepy.
Literally.
I remember he walked out one time in this purple shirt. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Out of your Mitsubishi car. Which his Mitsubishi, he bought it brand new.
That Mitsubishi, me and that Mitsubishi are...
You referring to me as a Mitsubishi?
No, I mean like me and the Mitsubishi. That was my very first car.
Yeah.
And I loved that car. I treated it so well. I bought like a K&N air filter for it, which was like super expensive. And it's like, you buy it and you never have to replace the air filter. You just have to clean it. And I thought that was fucking awesome. So anyways, I got that. And then I ended up selling it to Bree.
Because we weren't dating.
We weren't dating. And then we started dating and we actually started using the car when we had Caden. And then we outgrew the car. So then we gave it to Des, who has now given it to Trin.
And Trin will probably give it to Trey if it makes it that long.
If it makes it. But you guys, man, like that was a 2011?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's like...
I think 2010.
2010. It's like 15 years old, that car. And it's still going.
I mean, it sounds like it's about to explode every time you turn it on, but it's
My truck is a 2016, and I've already dumped a few grand into it trying to fix it. And it's just
a few grand in the last couple months.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare, that truck. Man.
Anyway, so the Mitsubishi also has a backstory, but we'll get to that. Kobe. Yeah, there's more to that Mitsubishi. So then,
the banana flavored condom.
Cam, don't say that.
Maybe not.
No. Jima's watching.
Oh yeah, we're not going to get into that. That's on the X-rated.
Yeah, you got to subscribe for that channel.
Yeah, we host it naked.
Oh my gosh. That people would be scared.
Oh my god.
So we ended up actually talking more. Why is there always just a random fly? Like, why? We ended up talking more. We grew older, obviously. I'm trying to remember the timeline. And then we went camping at Yogi Bear as a family. And my mom would make comments like, oh my gosh, like he'd look so good with highlights and Cam's so cute. And oh, Bree, I can see you two together. And then his mom was in my ear like, you guys would be the most good looking couple. And, you know, so I kind of just like, I don't know if I was fixated on him exactly or if I was fixated on the thought of us. And then I couldn't let it go. I swear when I was at high school parties, I would like compare the guys that were talking and I'd be like, okay, blue eyes, no. Curly hair, no. Brunette, tall, strong, muscular, nope. And I just was like completely turned off. And that is the God honest truth. So anyways, I've been camping at Yogi Bear. My dad invites him, you know, buddy with my dad. And then everyone was tired. And then we were like, well, we're not tired. And then I went in my tent. And
I'm surprised they were tired.
I know. But the kids were young back then, like my siblings.
Oh, true, yeah.
And then you said you were going to sleep in your truck. And then, so he had his truck parked out by the tents. And then we were texting each other. And I was like, I'm not tired, are you? And you're like, no, do you want to go look at the stars? And then I was like, okay. So we went for a walk and we were looking at the stars, like truly. Then he had to go to the bathroom. No, I had to go to the bathroom. Remember?
Yeah, you had corn that night.
And then we went into the boys' bathroom and then someone walked in and you were hiding outside. You were holding the door for me in case. Oh
true.
my God. And then he was like, it's freezing out. I need a sweater. So he opened up his truck door. He attempted to and it was like, beep, beep.
Starts beeping.
I actually was like, no.
Waking up the whole freaking place.
I was freaking. Like, it was late. Anyways, we ended up finding the keys and my dad came out to go to like for a pee outside of the tent, remember? And I remember we were just standing there and I was like, hi. And he was like, what? Oh, it makes me sweat thinking about it. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay.
That's funny.
So then I remember I was in awe. And then that next day you texted me and I was like, oh, what are you up to today? Because you were supposed to go to the gym and you're like, I'm actually going to a friend's cottage. But I found out he went on a date. And I was like,
I think that may have been a last minute change.
No, you definitely were just trying to make me not feel bad.
I don't know, maybe.
Anyways, so you went on a date.
I honestly don't remember.
Anyways, and then let's flash forward. What do you remember? Like, do you remember anything from back then? Like how it all started? We were hanging out with your friends and we started to all go to bars together and
yeah,
that was fun. And then people would make comments about us and then dun 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 dun. One night, Cam messaged me. It was actually after a fall fair. And he was like, well, what are you doing? I was like, not much, just at my friend's party. And he's like, do you want to go for a ride?
Go for a rip.
Ken, jump in. And I went for a rip and sparks went off.
That was it.
And that was it. And then, yeah, we talked on and off for a long time. And then Cam moved away.
Moved to Kentucky.
Got a job offer and moved away. And I moved away and went to school in Niagara.
I'm actually surprised that even happened in my life. That was pretty awesome.
It feels like a different life. Doesn't it?
Totally different than what I'm living now. Mm-hmm. I've gone through so many jobs after my accident.
After your accident, yeah.
Before my accident, it was like pretty straight shooter. I kind of knew what I wanted. But then after, my whole body changed. Like even my mental state changed. Mm-hmm. And then I just couldn't be who I thought I wanted to be or who I wanted to be. I couldn't really become that person. So then I had to restart all over again and figure out who I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I've done every job under the sun.
Yeah, but it all led you up to, I feel like every job that you've done has created a pathway for you up to what you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, what I do now, I feel like everything I've done in the past has contributed some sort of way to, get me to where I am now.
Yeah.
Sales, especially, being able to talk to people.
You're really good at talking to people.
Because then you can sell them on whatever the fuck you want. I mean, it's not really that. It's just mostly being able to sell yourself.
But you have good social skills because of it.
Yeah,
you know how to talk to people.
Even Tony runs a very successful business.
And that's his best friend.
And he was telling me, he's like, if anything I could pick you for, Cam, it would be for sales. Mm-hmm. He's like, I have a hard time walking up and talking to people about electrical and being able to like explain it to them and, do whatever. He's like, you're very, very good at that. But I also learned that way back in the day. I learned a lot of that at Husky too.
Yeah. So I believe everything happens for a reason. I mean, you wouldn't be where you were without those jobs. But going forward, so he moved to Kentucky and then you visited one random long weekend. You weren't, was it Thanksgiving? No, it was one random long weekend. And he was like, I have no family visiting me. Like, do you want to come see me? And I was like, oh my gosh, how can I play this off? And I was like, heck yeah. And then I asked my mom and she was like, but why? And I was like, I don't know, we're friends. I was like, we talk all the time. She's like, you guys are friends? And I guess she's like, do you like him?
Oh, here we go.
And I was like, no, Mom, we're just friends. Now stop. And then I remember that night she asked if all of us were virgins, all of my friends. And we were sitting in a room. Everyone was like, everybody's not except for Brie. Everyone's not a virgin except for Brie. So it like looked good. And I was like, and then my mom was like, okay, you can take my Santa Fe. Just please be so careful. And it was 9 hours away. And so I left that night. Drove 9 hours.
It's a nice drive though.
I have never felt so like I thought I was going to fall asleep. I've never felt
Yeah.
that way. But I had the window and I had this CD playing and it was like, life is a highway. And I remember I was just like, and I was like, oh my god.
Why would you listen to that song?
I don't know. My mom had a CD in her car.
Oh my god.
And I was like, there was no like Bluetooth back then. So I was like, oh my gosh.
True, you had to have CDs.
Yeah, it was like a terrible drive.
My car had Bluetooth. So there was Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, there was Bluetooth, but my mom just had an older car. Anyways, I actually got stuck at the border. I brought a bike. He told me to bring a bike, so we are going to go on this big biking trip that never happened. And it was brand new, his mom's brand new bike, so I brought it in the back. Get to the border, they're like,
Was it your bike or my mom's bike?
It was your mom's bike.
Oh.
And then first going over there, the bike wasn't a problem, but coming home, the bike was a problem. They thought I stole it because it looked brand new. And then going there, they were like, young girl takes her mom's car out, driving 9 hours away, fishy. They had to call my parents, even though I was of age. I was like, anyways.
Got stuck at the border.
Because it was her car, I think. Anyways, made it there, and it was fun. It was fun. We went to the gym.
It was a kind of a crazy environment, eh?
Yeah, I didn't feel safe.
We went to a grocery store, and the guy doing the bags was wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And that was in Kentucky.
Not homey.
But I also lived in a loft, and right across the street was like the hood.
Oh my god, that's all you heard at night.
You could hear gunshots and stuff at night. But I don't think it was people shooting at one another. I think it was just people shooting in the air.
But we would like hear like, oh, like I don't know, it was rowdy. I did not like it.
People yelling, especially like if there was basketball games.
Where we grew up, that was like a big change.
But there was some pretty cool sights there.
Yeah.
I did my first time I ever went kayaking by myself. I spent the night. I took a kayak out and I spent the night by the water. I had no idea, but there was like crocodiles and shit.
But we never did anything. What did we even do? We went to the gym. We would cook food. Went to the mall.
Cooked food that probably tastes like shit because my cooking has definitely gotten way better since back then. I was dieting, so I was cooking dieting food.
And you took me to your favorite sandwich bar. You got like this sandwich.
Oh yeah, they didn't even have the sandwich on the. So I went to this restaurant. Fuck, what's the name of it? Cheddar's. It's called Cheddar's.
Like chitty.
And I used to go there, and there was a guy, and he was full-blown gay. Told me he was gay, and he fucking loved me.
Of course he did.
Oh yeah, and he was like, "Here's the menu." He's like, "There's all this stuff that we still make that's not on the menu," and I was like, "Well, it's my cheat day. I want to fucking eat something that's awesome." I bet
he was so nice, though.
He was super nice, and he was a good friend of mine, and he actually made me this sandwich, and it was awesome. And then every time I went back there, I always got that sandwich,
even though it was off the menu.
And then they had a big drink out in the States, which probably a lot of people know, was sweet tea. So you would get a sweet tea, right? And then I wasn't used to drinking like sodas or drinks like that. So I drank the sweet tea. I was like, fuck, that's a lot of sugar. But it was really good. And it was really popular out there.
Sweet I remember going really there, popular. But they didn't have the sandwich or something, or he wasn't in.
He wasn't in, so they probably didn't serve the sandwich. But I mean, I knew a lot of the guys there. They used to invite me out. They had like a staff thing that was going on. I knew all the staff there. Yeah,
you would go there once a week because that was your cheat meal.
Yeah.
So Kentucky was fun. We didn't really do much other than what he just said. And then he messaged me close to Christmas. He would come and visit. And we had his best friend, Remy, at the time. His best friend at the time, Remy. And my best friend, Betty. They were dating. And then we would hang out, the four of us. And it was like something I looked forward to. Like every time he'd be like, I'm coming home, I'd be like, yes. And then the four of us would go over to Remy and Betty's house and Remy would DJ and we would just drink and it was fun.
Yeah. Remy was in an accident similar to me, but he had a brain injury. So he got a huge payout from a lawsuit. So he had a really nice place, really nice sound system. He's a very successful DJ actually right now. He plays for like Z103.5.
But he moved away.
Yeah, he moved away to BC. So now he plays for like a bunch of popular radio stations out there.
Yeah.
So he's a super successful DJ.
They're unfortunately not together anymore, but I still keep in touch with Betty. Like we are best friends and we will be forever. But yeah, and the four of us it was just such great memories and I don't know. Anyways, so then I actually started sneaking out of my house. And I would go crawl into Cam's basement window.
Oh, yeah. So that's when things got a little bit
Because I did not
spicy.
Want to tell my parents.
She did not want to tell her parents.
And you don't want to tell your parents.
Well, we were all friends.
And I think the most embarrassing night of my life. I've never felt so humiliated in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what's coming.
So we get me in the basement window, and his mom picks up on everything. Like, she is so intelligent. The fact we thought we were fooling her blows my mind. And if she's watching this, she's going to laugh. And so I was downstairs. Cam always hung out in the basement, and we put a movie on. And then all of a sudden, his mom opens the basement door, and she's like, Cameron. And then he's like, yeah, what's up? And then she's like, do you know? And she starts stepping down the stairs, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'll come up there. And then she's like, no, I was just wondering, do you know how to filter or fix the coffee filter, or something to do with the coffee machine? And you're
just totally made up.
I was like, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Why was she drinking coffee? And then you're like, stop. And he booked it up the stairs. And then she keeps walking. He's like, why are you coming down here? I'm going to come up and help you. And she's like, no, I was just wondering. So it's making this flashing thing. And she's like
looking around.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, who is that? Cameron, who's down there? And then I was like, and I grabbed a pillow and I put it over my face. Oh, like, why did I do that? And then she's like, hello. And I was like, and then she's like, hello, it's Francine.
I was like, no, Mom, it's a dude.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And anyways, and then the most embarrassing part was the next morning, I went out to breakfast with my friends, and I was wearing the exact same sweater that she just seen me downstairs in the night before.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh, there it is.
Plus, Brie would come over at wintertime, and she was like a bunny. So you'd see little bunny prints in the snow.
Yes.
That was so obvious.
But I used to do
Joe would wake up in the morning and go outside and be like, the fuck is this?
No, I used to go like this. When I would get out of the window to go back home, I would go like this. And I would run everywhere. And then I was like, that was even more dumb.
Well, it's because the neighbors were probably looking outside, seeing you running around in circles coming out of a fucking basement window.
Or your mom was out the window like, what is she doing?
Like, what is wrong with that child?
Then confessions came out that later on they knew it was me.
Yeah, they knew. They knew what was going on.
Anyways, so then, flash forward, and I can't even remember. You moved home for good. I moved home from school. And then... no, I didn't move home from school yet. No. But then you started dating someone else.
Oh, yeah, you were still in school.
Kobe.
Off.
So then he started dating someone else. I started dating someone else, and then we didn't really talk. I would see them together, and I was like, ugh. Even though I was dating somebody, I hated it. And then while I was still dating that person, I was living with that person at the time. And then I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. So then I was going to go to his house, and I was like, all right, I'll see you later. And we were side by side. And then Cameron's mom walked out of the house, and we were like, hey, Francine. And she was holding her Crocs, and her face was like a ghost. And I was like, and then my mom was like, Franny. And then she was like, she just stared at us and she wouldn't say anything. My mom was like, are you okay? And then my heart dropped. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was about to happen. And then she just walked to her car, and she looked at us and she said, it's Cameron and it's not good. And I was like, and I instantly had this gut rot. And my mom's like, what? And my mom is not good with that kind of stuff. I'm just like, what? And we ran over to Francine's car. And then I was like, can I drive you? And then she's like, I don't know. And then I was like, do you want me to drive you? And then she's like, I don't know. And then she just got in and backed up. And then she texted me 10 minutes into the drive and said, you should have drove me. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I need to go. And I was like, on my way, where are you? And then she's like, don't worry, I'm okay. And I was like, okay. So that whole night we were waiting for a message, nothing. My mom didn't get an update. I didn't get an update. I honestly, being so for real, I thought something happened between him and his girlfriend at the time. And I thought he tried to hurt himself. That's just where my brain went. Remember I told you that? I told you that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what else could it be? And I knew you guys were rocky.
Hurt myself.
Because his mom used to update me on them because we were just close. And then I was like, oh no, they were
CIA.
Something happened between them, and she was his first love, and they rekindled, but that's a whole other story. So then I was at where I was living at the time, and I got a phone call from his friend. And I was like, it said Zach. And I was like, why is Zach calling me? I was like, hello. And then he was panicked. And I was like, oh no. I was like, what's wrong? And then he's like, it's Cameron. He's been in an accident. He broke his neck and he's paralyzed. And I can't even begin to tell you what came over my body. It was It was so dramatic because I wasn't even with you. Kobe, I wasn't even with you fully at the time, but I just like, I don't know, I just like felt in my soul that he was the one for me. And I like fell to my knees. It was like a drama scene. And I just like let out this like scream. And I was like, no. And I was like, I started hyperventilating, crying. And then
it's like a Disney movie.
My boyfriend's mom at the time came running down the stairs and she's like, what is wrong? What is wrong? And I was like, and I couldn't even tell her. And I just literally like, I hung up the phone, called my mom, and then I got in my car. And then, yeah. The rest is, you want to say for next episode?
I thought you were out at breakfast.
I went to breakfast after.
Oh.
I drove to breakfast to tell what
after.
happened.
Oh, no.
And I was crying over what happened. I was trying to explain to the guy I was with at the time, like I was so upset it was happening. He was like, can you stop crying? He's like, people are going to think I'm making you cry, because we were at breakfast. And I was like, I can't. And he was like, stop crying. He's like, this is embarrassing. And like, you're crying over a guy. And I literally looked at him and I was like, I said some words and I stood up, grabbed my keys, and I drove home. And I was like, nope. And then I went through the emotions with my parents, and it was a not very great time.
Mm-hmm.
That was a wild time. And then I can go into detail, but we will do that next episode. And we'll
I'll tell you my side and kind of go through exactly what happened and kind of like what happened to me, like the step by step of when it happened, what I felt the entire time after, and the time spent in the hospital, rehab, what happened with my ex, which is like, which is crazy. And then how, Brie kind of shifted her way in, and then
shifted my way in, shimmy on
in. Kind of took over from there, right? So
yeah, so I guess next episode will be based on Cam's accident.
It will be the full details of the accident. Yeah,
it's going to be a good one.
It's a crazy story. They put me in the news.
Yeah, we were in People's Magazine.
We were in People's Magazine for my accident.
But yeah, it'll be real raw. I'm sure there will be lots of emotions. But I know on TikTok, if you follow us on TikTok, we've gone into depth about his accident, but we haven't gone into like the real depths of it.
I've never really opened up and talked about it really with anyone other than Brie.
He doesn't really talk about it.
Brie, your family, my family. I don't talk about it really. And Brie's like, Cam, because I'll go to work every single day and I'll be like, struggling with some things that I'm doing. He just
hurt his neck, and I was like, did you tell your foreman that you broke your neck? He's like, no.
I don't tell people that, because then they look at you as kind of like not like a sob story, or like, it's just, I don't want people to look at me and feel like they got to treat me different, right? And people will do that, and then it becomes noticeable, and then no one respects you. They just have to kind of take it easy, right? So I don't want people to think that.
I don't necessarily always think that's the way, though. I think that's just how you think that's how it would be. But I think that people would show more remorse. And like when he calls in sick, like that's a whole other thing, like that we'll talk about next episode. But he gets medical things that happen to him more regularly than any other human being that I know. And you wouldn't think that he would, because he's a man. Men don't get UTIs, and men don't deal with this, and they don't deal with that. But he has to call in sick.
Because I'll get like sick, but like because of my accident, I have immune deficiency. So then when I get sick, I get really, really sick.
He's done, like knocked out.
So then I'll be out for like 3-4 days, and then I'll call in sick, and then
a few foremen just haven't believed you.
They won't know. And you know what? I mean, I'm sure everyone else on here probably understands. When you call in sick, you just feel guilty. Yeah. You feel like no one believes you.
Even if you are sick.
Yeah. And then it's like, why? It's because there's so many people out there that probably do that are ruining it for everyone. So, and like, I don't know. So then I would call in sick or whatever, and then I show up to work, and then, everyone just says, oh, part-timer's back, and then you're the part-timer from now on, right? So then you just kind of like, fuck.
I just had a wave of, did I press play on this?
God, I hope you press play.
I am sweating right now. I don't know if I did. Are you lying, Cam? You're lying, I can tell. Cam, are you lying?
I'm not. I can't do this again tonight.
Okay, he's lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, rewind. Oh, fuck.
Fuel.
Oh, clammy as shit. This is over 30 minutes.
That's good.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, the next episode is going to be really exciting. I know the feedback. We do read your comments. We do appreciate the feedback.
I feel like with this episode, it was kind of more of an introduction.
I think it will
into what the depth is really going to be all about.
I think the third episode next Tuesday, it will be a long one. It's going to be an emotional one. It's going to be a good episode. Mm-hmm. So grab your coffees, your teas, your wine, your beer, your whiskey. All right. So we do read the comments, and we appreciate all the feedback on all the videos. And I know the biggest thing was the video was too short. They want longer ones, and we will do that.
Girls, they always want it longer.
And oh my gosh,
unbelievable.
I lost my train of thought because you're such a ding dong.
Is there any way we can make these videos thicker?
Shut up. Yeah, so we will slip our way on into I had to say something. I don't even know what I was going to say after that. I had to finish it with a laugh. I'm not as witty as Cam.
Yeah, we'll slip our way into the next episode. We're going to be as soaking wet as possible.
And we'll make sure it is a long and we
hard.
I know, and we just come out there with a bang. Like, we're going to release that with a bang.
Yeah, we will ejaculate all the information.
No.
You will be arriving by the end of the video.
Arriving or aroused?
Arriving. Isn't that what they say in England? You know, it's like, oh, I'm coming, but they're arriving.
Why do you have to do those emotions? You did that last episode. What?
Because that's what you do in that situation. At least I'm doing that and not like that.
Hopefully we gave you guys some laughs, and we really are enjoying this journey, and we are very excited for what's to come. And yeah, are you enjoying it? Are you having fun?
Yeah, I came like 3 times.
Oh my god.
No, it's good. It's fun. And I'm just glad people enjoy it.
Yeah.
I thought I was a boring guy. So this is good.
No one thinks you're boring. Eventually, we do want to get people on our podcast, so we would do it via Zoom call. And we are going to talk about topics just off the top of my head. Once we get into like who we are, once you guys know the background of us, I think that's so important. So you know who you're dealing with and who you're watching, because I feel like when people just jump into podcasts and start talking about, hey, I went through postpartum. Hey, I went through depression. I went through PTSD. You got to
kind of funnel it.
You got to understand who these people are. I mean, yes, everybody goes through that, but what is the backstory of it? And I feel like that's so important.
Where does it come from?
Yeah.
Why are you going through it?
And then so many people are going to be like, I just hope people can relate to this and, feel heard and be like, wow, I'm not alone. And I mean, I'm sure in most cases we are alone. I feel that sometimes. I feel like
it's one of those things that people don't talk about because it's same with depression.
Mm-hmm.
Postpartum literally is an extension of depression, if not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, going through major, deep depression myself. You think you're the only one in the universe going through it because you walk out that door, and I mean, how many times out of 10 do people say in interviews of people who have unalived themselves, and they say, wow, that guy was the happiest guy I knew.
He always had a smile on his face.
He always had a smile on his face. He was always so happy, right? Because they're trying so hard not to deal with what's inside.
You would never know. And I think when you said that, I got like goosebumps because what it reminded me of was Twitch. Through that. Yeah. You remember off Ellen, the dancer?
Yeah.
I would have never, he had everything. That guy had everything. The best job, a beautiful house, a beautiful wife, 3 kids. And then bam, he was just gone. Yeah. Right before Christmas, or was it after?
Well, I'm sure there's people on here who've been through postpartum or major depression, and they know what it's like to sit there and you're, the worst part of the day is nighttime, because people start to go in their houses and shut lights off, and then you start to really feel alone. You can't go to the mall and be surrounded by people and just feel, part of the community. Now you're all by yourself, and that's a tough time. I remember going through that as a kid.
I feel like I've been thinking about it, and I feel like I feel like I'm really nervous for seasonal depression because I know winter's coming, and I feel like you and I struggle during that time. Both of us singularly and then together as a couple. So I feel like in my head,
I feel like this winter's gonna be better.
We say that every winter, but I feel like what I need to do to get ahead on things is start booking couples therapy and start knowing that I think what helps us is knowing that we have things to look forward to. Like we're going to Great Wolf Lodge in December. So I have that in the back of my mind. Like, okay, we have that to work for. And
our friend literally got us paid for us and our family to go with them. So that was pretty sweet.
It was a really big surprise.
Really
and
nice.
A huge blessing. What I do want to ask you guys is how can we end our podcast? I want to end it with something that would interest you guys. So obviously,
do you want like a balloon drop?
So obviously, like, should it be a fun fact about us, or should it be one secret confession, or like I want to leave it off with like a bang. I just want to go out with a bang. I don't want to be like, all right, and thanks for watching our podcast. See you later. I want to like end it off with a bang, and then it pulls you guys in for next episode. What could we do? Let's brainstorm and come back with that. If you can, comment below on the video your ideas, and then we will choose one. And whoever the winner is, we will send a gift card from Amazon too.
True. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll send out a gift card to whoever we choose. Yeah.
And if you're not already following, it's 50 Shades of Mom Life on Instagram, 50 Shades of Mom Life on TikTok, and 50 Shades of Mom Life on YouTube. And Cameron's is Cameron McIntyre on all two social media platforms. He doesn't have a YouTube.
Am I not 50 Shades of Dad Life?
You want to start doing that one?
Yeah,
you are. You changed it.
Yeah.
He's 50 Shades of Dad Life.
I'm 50 Shades of Dad Life, guys. She paws me like a cat.
50 Shades of Dad Life. He complains I don't touch him enough, and then when I touch him, he complains that I'm touching him. So I can't win.
It's just nice. I just, I'll be your scratching post. Your kitty scratching post.
Okay. So what do you say we call it a night? Cozy's about to get that fly.
All right. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks for watching our second episode, and we look forward to talking to you guys again soon.
Bye.
Bye.